Berserker Daleks were heavy variants of standard Daleks that were introduced during the Time War to maximise the efficiency of Dalek planetary conquest. These units were heavily armoured and featured a devastating multiple-barrel firearm and deadly buzzsaw attachment. Berserker Daleks were nowhere near as intelligent as standard Daleks. In fact, they were bred to be little more than brutal tanks, designed for the simple task of inflicting maximum extermination on a population with little regard for tactics or finesse. They were incapable of strategy, and were generally deployed at the height of a planetary invasion to break the defences of cities. These tank-like Daleks had numerous differences from standard Daleks. They moved around on massive treads, and were capable of repairing their casings from material on the battlefield, which could be used to reconstruct a casing even if the Berserker Dalek was heavily damaged. Due to their use at the height of the Time War, Berserker Daleks were encountered primarily by the War Doctor and other prominent Time Lords who fought in the war. A group of Berserkers attacked the planet Lacuna, intent on wiping out its resident civilization, causing the War Doctor to create a time loop in an attempt to save the population. The Dalek Science Division later unleashed a Berserker Dalek on a Time Lord research station to test its abilities, and it killed all of the crew save 2, who were rescued by Veclan, Rasmus and the General. The Daleks used the population of the planet Orison as raw material to create more Berserkers, enslaving the people to manufacture Berserker casings and then mutating any workers who were too weak to continue into rudimentary Berserker creatures. There was also an example of a Berserker Dalek that was trapped on Sunspire for centuries, going insane in the process, before finally being found by the War Doctor and a team of survivors, which resulted in a bloodbath, primarily due to the Berserker's deadly weapons and its ability to reconstruct its damaged casing. However, despite their immense power and terrifying abilities, Berserker Daleks were not completely indestructible. Large enough explosions can obliterate a Berserker Dalek, but they have to be cataclysmic in order to completely destroy the entire creature. The General, Rasmus and Veclan also discovered that Berserker Daleks can be stopped by freezing the organic components in cryostasis. This didn't destroy the Berserker outright, but it did render it uncontrollable by its Dalek handlers, which then caused it to turn on other Daleks in fits of rage. The Berserker Daleks share some similarities with other types of Daleks used during the Time War. They were of a similar classification to the Spider Daleks and Strider Daleks in that they had non-standard Dalek casing designs and were deployed for very specific strategies or circumstances. They were also similar to the Special Weapons Daleks, or early versions of Dalek executioners used during the Time War, in that they were less intelligent than standard Daleks and often acted more like rampaging animals than military units. Fortunately for the universe, Berserker Daleks seem to be contained within the Time War. However, should the Dalek Empire choose to resurrect the Berserker Dalek design in the post-Time War universe, the consequences will be terrifying indeed. The Berserker Dalek was rendered by James Johnson, also known as ThePrydonian, who has done some fantastic renders for Big Finish Dalek covers. He did the Time Strategist render, the Red-Topped Reconnaissance Dalek render, the Dalek Commander, the Dalek Chief Scientist, the Imperial Dalek Supreme, the Reborn Dalek Paradigm, and the new series Special Weapons Dalek, and many more. I've been following his work for a while now. He has some fantastic Dalek renders, many of which have not yet been used in an official capacity, but are nonetheless amazing in their detail. In fact, I've taken inspiration from quite a few of them from my Dalek customs in the past. You can check out the Prydonian's work on DeviantArt or Twitter. I'd thoroughly recommend it as there's some phenomenal Dalek artwork to be found there. What do you think of the Berserker Daleks? Do you think we'll ever see these Daleks appear in the TV series? Which of the Prydonian's Dalek renders is your favourite? Leave your thoughts on these heavy Dalek variants in the comments below.
Don't forget to click below to subscribe to
Dalek Bumps.